Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's have some crafty fun. Stay tuned. So if you are looking for an online crafting family that will help you grow in your paper crafting skills, help you become a craft fair standout, and just give you some awesome fellowship and community, this is the channel for you. So I would love to have you subscribe and join this awesome online crafting family. So guys, here is today's project. It is so stinking cute and so easy to make. It's a large one. It's 8.5 by 6 and it's an inch deep. And what it is a planner set. So on this side we have planner pages, and on this side we have a removable little notepad, and then we've got some post-it notes, mini post-it notes here in the top that we can make a quick note and just stick it onto something if we need to. Super simple to make, but super necessary in our lives. And this is one of those things that we can all find a use for, or we know someone who can definitely use it. So let's make it. So here's what we're going to need to make our awesome project. So I have these little tiny sticky notes that I got from the Dollar Tree. You can probably find those at any big box store, but these were at the Dollar Tree, and they're just basically a whole bunch of different colors, and you can take them and flag something that's important that you might need to notate for the day. And then I have these mini writing tablets. They come in a set of 5, but each one has its own chipboard backing, so you can separate them and use them in multiple crafts. So these were also from the Dollar Tree, and they are called mini writing tablets. You can probably find these at any big box store as well. And then I have my planner pad, and I found these at Tuesday Morning last year, and they aren't year specific, so it's basically just a week at a glance, and you can just jot down everything you have going on for the week. You can probably find some printable downloads online, or you can probably find something similar to this in the store. And then I have my decorative cover, so I'm using a cut apart, and then I cut out a 3.5 by 4 inch piece of chocolate cardstock just to back that. Then I have my liner pieces. My liner piece is 12 by 8, but then I also need another liner piece because this won't be long enough, and this liner piece is 4 by 8. And then I have a piece for the inside pocket, and this measures 4 by 5 7/8. And then I have 2 pieces that measure 10.5 by 9, and this is for the outside of my book, and I'm going with this wonderful autumn paper. And the paper is from American Crafts. And guys, I have a lot of this American Crafts, the color of memory paper, and there were a whole bunch of different sheets in this series, and this paper was actually gifted to me by AC Moore. So I can't tell you where to find it because AC Moore is no longer in business, but I will hold this up so that you can get the SKU number, and it is American Crafts, so you might be able to find this if you do an online search. But again, I have 2 pieces that measure 10.5 by 9, and then I have a piece of chipboard that measures 1 by 8.5, and then I have 2 pieces of chipboard for the front and the back of my book that measure 8.5 by 6. All right, guys, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to join our 2 pieces of 10.5 by 9 inch paper, and I am going to join mine with a 1/2 inch strip of double-sided tape. You can use glue on this if you want. I am using tape. So I'm just going to put that down like that. And then I will just trim off the excess. We can lift up our strip. And then we can join these two pieces together. So I'm just laying one on top of the other, covering that tape. Then I'll bring in my big old spatula and get that nice and stuck. Now I'm going to flip this over because this is the outside of my book. So when I flip it over, it's time for me to place down the spine, which measures 1.5 by 9. And when I place down my spine, I want to make sure that I'm placing it down so that the seam from joining the two pieces together runs down the center of my spine. So I'm going to flip this back over, and I am going to feel for that seam. Don't go by this piece because that's on the inside. Find your seam by feeling here or just lift it up. But I can tell that my seam is right here. So I am going to take my spine and just place it down like that. And then I'll take one of my 8.5 by 6 inch boards and place it here. I have placed double-sided tape on the backs of all of my chipboard pieces, and I'm placing this down with about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. Now I'm going to rotate this and place down my second board. And then I'll flip it over, and I am just going to give it a good burnishing with my big old spatula just to make sure everything is nice and stuck. Now I'll flip it back, and I am going to use my stylus and go along the edges and get a nice deep impression, especially if your paper is thick. And my paper is thick, so I am just giving myself a good impression all the way around using the chipboard as the guide, and I'm pressing the stylus down into the paper just to make sure that I have a good crease that will help to minimize the potential for cracking. It might not stop it, but it might minimize it. And then once I have my edges creased, I am going to remove just a little bit of my excess paper because I don't need all of that. And I'll rotate it to this side and do the same thing. And I think I'll take off a little bit here as well. So once I have removed that excess paper, I can take this, stand it up, and just fold over my creases on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to miter cut my ends, and basically I'll come to the end of this chipboard piece here. There's going to be an intersection where I fold it this way and I fold it this way, and it'll look like an X, and all I'm going to do is cut right through it. And that's how we miter those corners. All right, guys, so once we have the ends mitered, we are going to go ahead and place down some tape. And I'm going to go ahead and place my wide tape all over this board because I'll have to cover it in tape anyway. So I am just going to place it down, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have my tape placed all over the board. And now I'm going to stand it up, and for this portion here where I've got the seam joined, I'm just going to bend it over just like that and get it stuck. Then I'll go to the opposite side where I've got that seam. I'll start there, holding it down, and I'll do my fold over on the rest of this paper. So then I'll do my ends. And now I'll bring in my big old spatula, and we're going to get everything stuck down And then we'll go through the process of smoothing everything out. So now that I have it stuck, my fingers too, I am going to go along the edges and just round the corner and get those edges nice and crisp. And now we have a very beautiful autumn book jacket. We need to place our liner. So the liner piece that we have measures 12 by 8, and it won't cover the whole thing, so I'm going to place down one part and then I'll use the other piece to place it down. Haven't quite decided if I want to go with this side, and I think I do. So what I am going to do for this piece is I am going to use glue. Before, I used tape on another project, and we can use glue or we can use tape. It's completely up to you if you have a quality glue and a quality tape that's going to hold. So let me get this stuck down, and then we can put our other piece down as well. Alrighty, so I am going to take this, and if you need to, stand up. For this piece, I really don't need to stand, so I am going to lay that down. I'll use my paper towel to smooth everything out initially. Then I'm going to use my big old spatula to get everything nice and stuck. And now I have my piece that measures 4 by 8, and I am going to place that down right here. So on this piece, I am going to cover it in double-sided tape, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have my tape on my 8 by 4 inch piece, and I am just going to place that down, matching it with this piece and getting it stuck. And then I'll use my big old spatula to get it stuck down. And now I'm just going to use my big old spatula to define my spines, and now I'll just fold this up, get my spine on both sides. So I'll flip it over, get the spine, and now we have the inside of our book. And I'll let you in on a little secret. At first, I was a little bit skeptical about whether or not I wanted to use this side because I thought it might be too busy, but it isn't. And this is just another example of how we can mix patterns and make them work. So I am going to bring in my piece that measures 4 by 7/8, and all I'm going to do is take it, I'm not going to measure it, and I am going to fold over a portion. And once I have that folded over, I am going to place some glue down. Then once we have our glue on the pocket, we are going to take some more glue, place it on the 2 short ends and at the bottom. And the bottom is the part where we did not do the fold over. So I'm going to take this, put it down right here, and we'll get it stuck down. And I'm sure that some of you guys are probably skeptical about whether or not this pattern combo would work, but it works and it looks great. So we're going to let that dry, and we'll go ahead and place down the planner portion of this. So I am going to bring that in, and I'm going to place it right here. So if you find these planners, they are going to have 52 sheets in them for the 52 weeks in a year. And I will take my glue, and I'm making this permanent because I really don't need to keep this once you've gone through 52 weeks of use. So I am going to place it down right here, and I will link a video showing how to make it refillable if that's what you choose to do. But for me, it's a one and done. So I am placing that right there, and you can see just how all of this works. So now I'm going to take one of my notepads, tuck it in the pocket here, and then I'll take my little sticky note flags and place some glue on the back. And I am going to take these, place them right up here. You could actually put a cute little saying in here if you wanted to, but now you have a way to flag something of importance. You also have a notepad that you can write on, and you have your planner side. So I am going to fold this over, and we're going to get it closed. And now we have our beautiful, beautiful autumn planner. And I am going to take this Hello cut apart and just put some double-sided tape on it from my tape runner. Place it down on this gorgeous chocolate piece, which measures 3.5 by 4.5. Then I'll place some more tape on the back. We'll get this stuck down, and we're going to be done. So now that I have my tape on the back, you can place it down at an angle if you want. I think for me, I am just going to place it straight up and down, and I am going to pick it up and look at it to make sure that it's straight. And there we have a beautiful, absolutely beautiful autumn notebook. This is stunning. And, you know, holding it up to the camera does not do it justice, because not only is it stunning, but it's sturdy. And if you wanted to, you could cover the outside paper in contact paper before you ever lay it down on the chipboard. If you have plans of making yours refillable, that might be something you want to do, because if you don't, after 52 uses or 52 weeks of using this, it's not going to look like this. So if you want for this to have that longevity and be refillable, I would encourage you to either Mod Podge the outside or use clear contact paper and cover it. But I'm going to open this up so that you can have another look at all of this goodness, because that's exactly what it is. This is gorgeous. And I am going to bring the other one back in so that we can see how awesome these really are. And like I said, they're pretty large, 8.5 by 6 by 1. So that's a pretty good size planner. And I think that it works for anyone. Change the paper, and it's good for any gender. So guys, I hope that you have liked this project. And if you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.